The trailer opens with a soft lullaby playing in the background, and then it hits. Mel is cradling a baby in her arms. Jack stands beside her, overwhelmed with emotion, his hand gently touching the baby's tiny head. It's the moment fans have been waiting years for. But there's something deeper in their expressions. Joy, yes, but also fear. Virgin River Season 7 isn't just picking up where it left off. It's opening a brand new chapter, and this baby is right at the center of it. The first few seconds of the trailer set the tone. Mel and Jack have stepped into parenthood, but not everything looks picture perfect. There's a quiet scene where Mel is seen sitting by the window, holding the baby while looking out with a distant stare. Her smile fades as she seems lost in thought. It's a powerful image, a new mother wrapped in love, but also silently processing everything she's been through. From her miscarriage to her struggle with identity, this child represents both healing and uncertainty. The trailer doesn't say it out loud, but the message is clear. Mel's emotional journey is far from over. Then we get a scene with Jack holding the baby in the kitchen. He's trying to make breakfast, juggling everything, and he looks stressed. It's not just the sleepless nights, something deeper is troubling him. The camera lingers a second too long on his face, and fans who followed Jack since Season 1 will notice it. He's always been the rock for others, but now, with the pressure of being a new dad and running the bar, cracks are starting to show. He loves this child more than anything, that's obvious, but there's an unspoken fear in his eyes, the fear of not being enough. Of failing his family. In one quick flash, we see the baby wrapped in a light blue blanket during what looks like a checkup. Mel's holding him tightly and the doctor's face looks serious. No dialogue, just tension. That moment alone has sparked dozens of fan theories online. Is there a health scare coming? Or is this simply part of the routine worries all new parents face? The show has a way of layering real-life emotions into dramatic moments, and this looks like one of those carefully crafted teases. Virgin River has always been about more than just romance. It's about the heartache, joy, and quiet fears of everyday life. This baby storyline is taking that theme to the next level. We also get a blink and you'll miss it scene where Mel is packing a small bag, a baby bag. Her hands are trembling slightly and she keeps looking back at the baby monitor. The vibe is tense, like something's wrong or about to go wrong. Is she planning to leave for a while? Or is it something related to her medical practice? In a town like Virgin River, even the smallest shift in someone's life can send emotional shockwaves. This isn't just about a family of 3. It's about how their lives ripple through everyone else's in town. The final shot of this section shows Jack lying next to the baby in bed, asleep, his arms stretched out protectively. Mel walks in, watches them for a moment, and her eyes fill with tears. But we can't tell if it's happiness or something else. That kind of layered emotion is what Virgin River does best. Nothing is ever one note. Love always comes with pain, and peace never stays for long. This baby is a blessing, but it's also the beginning of a whole new set of trials. Season 7 is preparing us for the most emotional ride yet. Asterisk, just when it seems like Mel and Jack have finally found peace, the trailer quietly shifts gears. There's a quick cut to Jack sitting alone on the porch at night, holding a bottle of beer, but not drinking it. He's staring out into the darkness, lost in thought. The camera moves in slowly, and for a split second, we see something rare in Jack: doubt. For a man who's fought battles, both personal and professional, being a father has shaken him in a way we haven't seen before. It's not that he's unhappy, far from it. But the trailer makes it clear the weight of responsibility is starting to wear on him, and that pressure might be heading toward a breaking point. Mel, on the other hand, is trying to keep everything together. She's seen walking down the hospital hallway in her scrubs, glancing at her phone as messages come in one after another. The baby, Jack, patients, everything is pulling her in different directions. There's a scene where she's with a new mother in the clinic, helping her through a tough labor, but when the mother asks Mel about her own child, she freezes. It's subtle but powerful. Mel is proud to be a mom, but it's clear she's still trying to understand what motherhood really means for her. She's not just navigating late-night feedings and baby cries. She's questioning her entire identity. Doctor, partner, mother, and whether she can do justice to all of it without losing herself in the process. Then comes one of the trailer's most intimate moments. Jack and Mel have a quiet argument in the kitchen. No yelling, just soft, tired voices. It's about something small, maybe a forgotten baby bottle or a missed call, but the tension runs deep. Jack says something like, "I thought we were in this together," and Mel replies, "We are, but I'm drowning." That single line speaks volumes. Love hasn't disappeared, but the pressure of their new life is starting to test even the strongest parts of their bond. It's a raw, honest moment, one that hits close to home for any couple adjusting to parenthood. Virgin River has always leaned into emotional truth, and this scene captures that perfectly. The trailer also hints at outside complications. There's a new face at the bar, a man in his 40s, casually dressed, watching Jack a little too closely. He doesn't say a word, but the way the camera lingers on him suggests trouble. Who is he? A relative, someone from Jack's past? Or maybe someone tied to Mel's former life? Virgin River has a way of introducing new characters with slow burning importance, and this one feels like a fuse waiting to be lit. Could this stranger bring a secret that could shake the little family Jack and Mel have just built? Meanwhile, Hope and Doc appear in a brief, tender scene, visiting Mel and the baby. Doc seems proud, maybe even emotional as he holds the child, but Hope, ever the realist, pulls Mel aside and whispers something in her ear. Mel's face drops. We don't hear the words, but it's enough to suggest that not everything is smooth sailing in town. Maybe Hope knows something about the baby's health. Maybe there's news from the town council. Whatever it is, it adds another layer of mystery to an already emotional narrative. 1. Blink and you'll miss a clip shows Mel walking alone through the woods with the baby carrier. It's early morning, foggy, peaceful, but she looks tired, not just physically but emotionally. She pauses near the riverbank, sits on a bench, and stares into the water. This kind of quiet scene says more than any line of dialogue. It shows a woman who has finally reached something she dreamed of, yet still feels incomplete. Virgin River has always understood that happiness isn't a straight road. It comes in waves, and sometimes even in the most beautiful moments, the past still lingers. The section wraps up with a quiet reunion between Jack and Mel after what seems like a long day apart. She walks in holding the baby, and Jack immediately takes him into his arms. No words, just eye contact. They're exhausted, yes, but they're still trying. That's the heart of Virgin River. Not perfection, but effort. Not flawless love, but real love. Season 7 isn't showing us a fairy tale. It's showing us what happens after the fairy tale ends, when diapers replace roses, when long talks become short sighs, and when two people must figure out how to love each other while growing into something entirely new, as the trailer unfolds further. Virgin River begins to feel less like a quiet small town and more like a living, breathing character reacting to Mel and Jack's life-changing moment. The baby doesn't just impact the couple, it sends ripples through the entire community. One early shot in this part of the trailer shows Preacher stepping into Jack's bar, now quieter than ever. He walks behind the counter, looks around, and then sighs. Jack isn't there. The bar, once the town's social heartbeat, feels strangely off without him. It's a small but telling moment. Jack's attention is clearly elsewhere, and Virgin River is beginning to feel the absence of its dependable center. Next, we see Lizzie walking through the general store, glancing at a shelf full of baby clothes. She hesitates, picks up a tiny onesie, and then looks down at her own stomach. There's no dialogue here, but the meaning is unmistakable. The arrival of Jack and Mel's baby is making people reflect on their own lives, their own futures. Lizzie and Denny have come a long way, especially with his health struggles hanging in the background. But now the idea of family isn't just something distant, it's right there, real and possible. The baby becomes more than just Mel and Jack's joy. It becomes a mirror for others in Virgin River to face their own desires, fears, and unresolved dreams. The trailer cleverly weaves in scenes showing how the town begins to gather around the new family. There's a beautiful wide shot of a community picnic. Hope, Doc, Bree, Brady, and even Muriel are all there. Everyone is laughing, holding plates of food, and passing around the baby. But while it looks like a celebration, there are subtle undercurrents of tension. Hope is seen watching Doc closely, as if checking for signs of strain. Bree keeps glancing at Brady, who is unusually quiet. It's not just about joy, it's about the fragility of happiness. Virgin River is a town full of people who've been through loss, and even in moments of togetherness, they carry those scars with them. In a surprising moment, Charmin appears. She hasn't been in the spotlight lately, but here she is, stepping into the trailer with a hesitant smile and a gift in hand. She walks up to Mel and Jack's doorstep, clearly unsure whether she'd be welcomed. When Mel opens the door, there's a pause, a long, emotionally loaded silence. Then Mel steps aside and lets her in. It's one of those moments that shows Virgin River's true magic, forgiveness, no matter how messy the past. But the trailer doesn't stop there. There's a brief shot of Charmaine sitting alone in her car later, wiping away a tear. Could this be regret? Or a sign that she's not quite ready to let go of something or someone? Meanwhile, Bree and Brady are dealing with their own shift in perspective. They're shown watching Jack and Mel with the baby from a distance, standing on the porch of Jack's house. Bree leans her head on Brady's shoulder, and he wraps an arm around her, but both look serious. No smiles, just thought. Later, we see them talking quietly outside the clinic. Bree says, "Do you ever wonder what it would be like for us?" And Brady looks away. It's a powerful moment that shows how watching their friends grow into a new phase of life is forcing them to confront what they want next, something they've both avoided talking about until now. Doc and Hope also get their moment. In one particularly touching scene, Doc is shown reading to the baby in the clinic while Mel watches from the doorway. He pauses, looks at Mel, and says, "You're doing just fine, you know." It's a small, simple line, but it carries the weight of years of wisdom. For Mel, who's been constantly doubting herself, it's a rare piece of comfort. Hope, on the other hand, is already planning a baby shower, and we catch her in full energy, dragging chairs across the community center and arguing about balloons with Muriel. Her fiery spirit is still very much alive, and it brings levity in the middle of the emotional storm. And then there's Joey, Mel's sister, calling in from LA. She appears briefly via video chat, smiling wide and asking, "So, when do I get to meet my new nephew?" But the scene isn't just sweet. It's Mel's subtle reaction biting her lip, hesitating to answer, that leaves us wondering if a trip to LA might be coming, or if there's more going on behind the scenes. Could Mel be considering a temporary move? Is she feeling the pull between her past and her future again? Finally, the trailer offers a sweeping shot of Virgin River at sunset. The baby is in Jack's arms, Mel stands beside him, and the entire town seems to be gathering around them. It's peaceful, hopeful, but Virgin River fans know better than to trust a perfect scene. This part of the trailer is filled with warmth, but it's also full of questions. In this town, peace is never permanent. Something is always coming. And as the music fades and the screen goes black, all we're left with is the sound of a baby's soft coo, followed by thunder rumbling in the distance. The trailer ends not with a lullaby, but with a storm. Thunder rolls in, and we see the trees swaying as night falls over Virgin River. That final stretch of the footage flips everything on its head. The soft warmth of new parenthood gives way to something darker, something uncertain. There's a sudden shift in music, and with it, the promise that Season 7 won't just be about the joys of Mel and Jack's new baby, it's about how fragile that joy really is. The final minutes of the trailer are packed with blink and you'll miss it moments that hint at secrets, conflict, and possibly tragedy. One of the most talked about moments is a dimly lit scene of Jack rushing down the clinic hallway, holding the baby close to his chest, panic all over his face. Mel is nowhere to be seen. The camera follows him as he bursts through a door yelling for help. The trailer cuts away just as the monitor beeps loudly in the background. What happened? Is the baby sick? Did something happen to Mel? That one scene alone has set the internet on fire with speculation. It's classic Virgin River just when everything feels steady. The ground starts to shake beneath your feet. Another powerful moment shows Mel sitting in the church, alone in a pew, whispering something under her breath. Her hands are clasped together as if she's praying, but her eyes are red from crying. She looks up and we catch a glimpse of raw fear. She's not just overwhelmed, she's terrified. That kind of emotion doesn't come from sleepless nights or new parent anxiety. It's the kind of fear that comes when something you love is in danger. Whether it's the baby's health, her relationship with Jack, or something we haven't seen coming yet. One thing is clear, Mel is bracing herself for a storm, and then there's the flash of a hospital emergency room. Red lights, nurses rushing around, a gurney being wheeled in, but we don't see who's on it. Jack appears in the corner of the frame, shouting something we can't quite hear. He looks angry, desperate. That kind of energy is rare for him, and it means whatever's happening is serious. Virgin River has never shied away from medical drama, and this scene suggests we're heading toward one of the most intense emergencies the show has dealt with so far. Just as the tension builds, we cut to a shot of Bree standing in Mel's driveway, holding a letter in her hand. Her face is pale, lips pressed tight. She doesn't knock on the door, she just stands there, frozen. Then she slowly turns around and walks away. What's in the letter? Could it be news from her past? Or is it something connected to Jack or Mel? Bree's journey has always been tied to resilience, but this moment hints at a new layer of mystery that could intersect with Mel and Jack's life in an unexpected and possibly heartbreaking way. In a moment that feels like a warning, Doc sits down with Jack at the bar. It's late, the place is empty, and both men look tired. Doc says quietly, "You think love is enough, but sometimes it isn't." Jack doesn't respond, he just stares at his glass. It's one of those classic Virgin River exchanges, short, quiet, but full of meaning. Doc has always been the voice of hard truths, and this one hits different. It makes you wonder if something is brewing between Jack and Mel that even love can't fix. To add to the suspense, there's a shot of a woman we've never seen before walking into the clinic. She's in her 30s, wearing a coat soaked from the rain. She looks around the waiting room, clearly searching for someone. The camera follows her as she locks eyes with Mel. There's a pause, then Mel's face goes pale. Is this someone from Mel's past? A patient? A biological connection to the baby? The trailer gives us nothing more, but the intensity of that eye contact says a lot. This stranger isn't just passing through, she's about to shake everything up. Amid all this drama, we get one final intimate moment. Mel and Jack are standing by the riverbank at dusk. The baby is wrapped in a blanket, asleep in Jack's arms. Mel looks up at the sky and whispers, "Sometimes I wonder if we were meant for this." Jack, after a long pause, replies, "We have to believe we were." The pain, the doubt, the hope, it's all there in their voices. It's the emotional center of the trailer, and probably the season. Two people who've survived everything together, now facing a brand new challenge, building a life without breaking apart. The last 10 seconds are pure tension. A rapid-fire montage of upcoming scenes, a car crash on a rainy road, someone getting arrested at the docks, Mel yelling, "Don't lie to me," Jack throwing a punch at a man we've never seen before, and the final gut punch, a baby's crib, empty, swaying slowly in the dark. No context, no explanation. Just fear. Virgin River Season 7 Episode 1 isn't holding anything back. The baby may be the beginning, but the trailer makes one thing clear: this season is going to test every bond, every relationship, and every truth. The quiet town we know is about to face its biggest storm yet, and not everyone will make it through. Unchanged?